Good afternoon. I'm Roger Boyd. I'm an education coordinator for the Baker Wetlands, and I welcome you to the Baker Wetlands Discovery Center. I'd like to start off the afternoon with our invocation with Reverend Kevin Hopkins.
Good afternoon. Would you pause with me for a moment of prayer? Gracious God, we give you thanks for this day that you have given us. This day represents a lot of hard work, much patience, and great dedication to the Baker Wetlands Project. This beautiful facility represents the dreams and the hard work of so many people. This afternoon we are thankful for Baker and all that it means to all of us gathered here. The impact of Baker stretches far around the world. And now with this beautiful new center, the young and the young at heart will be welcome here to learn more about the beauty of your creation. We dedicate this building and these wetlands to you and to further learning. May all who enter here be renewed with the beauty of nature and heed your call to be good stewards to this planet we call home. Amen. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Gene Meyer, Chair of the Technology, Facilities, and Property Committee of our Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Reverend Hopkins. Welcome, everyone. I am a member of the Board of Trustees at Baker University. In my spare time, I'm also CEO of Lawrence Memorial Hospital. So wearing two hats today, it's really an honor to be here and to be a part of this. Speaking from a Douglas County perspective, so many great things have gone on and will continue to go on at this property. Obviously, it came with very little controversy with the South Lawrence traffic light. Everything went really smooth over the years, and but it looks like it's coming to fruition, and obviously this project is coming to fruition also. What this does do, though, is this really solidifies Baker University's commitment to Douglas County, and it's a significant commitment, as we all know. The history of Baker and the history of the relationship with Douglas County, and this is even more of an evidence to it. On behalf of the trustees, I'd like to thank Roger, John, your colleagues with the university for all the great work that you've done. This is certainly a labor of love for all of you, and you know, it's kind of unusual to see these two in suits because they feel a little out of place, I'm sure, but they've rolled up their sleeves a lot, and with the help of your colleagues at Baker University, you made today happen. So thank you on behalf of the Board of Trustees. Now it's my honor to introduce, you know, Amy wrote this, and when I first looked at it, I thought she wrote Dr. Murray's age, but then she said, no, it's the 29th president. No, not her age of 29, but I'd like to introduce to the podium our 29th president of Baker University, Dr. Lynne Murray. Lynne?
Thank you, Dean, and thank you for being here with us today. What an accomplishment. What a great day for Baker University. And I want to personally thank the Boyds, not just Roger and John, but the entire Boyd family. There have been so many times when I've come here to visit, and Roger, the first time I did have heels on, I admit, and but after that I got used to it. And Roger would take me out, and every time I would come, the Boyds would be here working, and so it truly is a labor of love and a testament to their commitment. So thank you very much. Friends, as Dr. Boyd alluded to in his opening remarks, today's ribbon cutting is about much more than a building. This Discovery Center represents years of passion and perseverance, particularly on behalf of the Boyd family. Just beyond these windows is an amazing example of the distinction of Baker University. We are among only a handful of universities in the country with access to such a magnificent area of natural wetlands. This place provides unparalleled academic experiences, not just for our students, but for all residents of Douglas County. And now to have a Discovery Center right in our own backyard, well, it's a special day. And it's our honor to share this place with the residents of Lawrence and Douglas County and the entire state of Kansas. I know our provost, faculty members, and staff are excited to turn our attention to the many curricular and program opportunities that present themselves to us, not only for Baker University students, but for all of the state's children who must experience this beautiful area and roam these halls as they develop a passion for science, sustainability, and for our environment. There are so many people to thank and acknowledge today. To the many donors who are in this room and who couldn't be here, who have made this possible, as well as the transformation of our science building, the Mulvane transformation. There's a huge science building on campus. I invite you all to come see if you haven't seen it yet. And I want to thank our past board members and administrators who've worked diligently to move this project forward over the years. To Dr. Ron Zabran, who currently leads our efforts with the Baker University Observatory, which sits just to the east of where we're standing now and includes new equipment and telescopes. I thank you for your vision and for your dedication. And of course, again, to Roger and John. Gentlemen, will you please come to the podium? Roger and John, and Jan and Mary, but particularly Roger and John, your commitment to the Baker Wetlands, your collaboration and your passion is most appreciated by all of us at Baker University, and I want to formally acknowledge your contributions. Thank you so much. You have left a lasting legacy at Baker University, and it is my privilege to be here with you today. Thank you so much.
Many of you have seen the Baker Proud magazine that Baker put out. It has fantastic photos in it, and the name of the article was Natural Beauty. Well, when I read it, I was very disappointed because I didn't realize it was about the Baker Wetlands. I thought it was about me. I'd like to acknowledge some guests today. And of course, this is dangerous territory because I may leave somebody out. But I would like to acknowledge Deputy Secretary of Kansas Department of Transportation, Jerry Younger, and we're going to hear from Jerry here in a minute. State Senator is Marcy Francisco. I believe Marcy is here. She may not have made it yet. State Senator Tom Holland is back here with us. County Commissioner Jim Flory. He's the chair of the County Commission, and Vice Chair is Mike Don. And another commissioner, Nancy Dellman. There's Nancy over there. And then Lawrence City Commissioner Stuart Bowley, I believe, is here. I didn't get to meet, oh, there's Stuart. Yeah, thank you very much for coming. When Baker received this property 47 years ago, my dad was the director. It was mostly cornfields and some pasture. Construction of the Clinton Dam was about to begin. This dam was built to prevent flooding. Well, no flooding, no wetlands, right? It took us about 20 years to figure out how we could come up with the plan and the money to restore those wetlands, restore the cornfields back to wetlands. One of my students had a great deal of effort that went into that. Greg Kramos, where are you, Greg? Greg's shyly sticking his hand up there. He graduated in '89. And Greg worked for the Fish and Wildlife Service, and he was able to be in a position to help me figure out how to get the money and the expertise of restoring those acres back to wetlands in the early 1990s. Now, over the years, many of my students have had a lasting impact on what we were accomplishing out here. Early on, I called that slave labor. They didn't have any choice of classes. Later on, I learned that the politically correct term for that is service learning. The story of the SLT has been a long one since 1985. It's been a major theme throughout my career at Baker. My wife, Jan, has been a part of that first. And Jan's been involved in a lot of service learning also, but without credit. Now, my son John, met him already. John, he's been involved in wetlands for probably as long as he can remember. One of the first projects that he was involved in was his Eco project in building the first segment of the boardwalk over along 31st Street. Now we flash forward 18 years, and in 2010, he and his wife Mary, Mary's right over here, he and his wife Mary moved into the house, the residence here, and he became our resident manager at that time. Now our first project, with John, Mary, and I built this boardwalk out here. Took us about 6-7 months or so, but that was our first major project. And then April this year, John became the third director of the wetlands. There are many of you in the room who've had a hand in getting the South Orange Trafficway moving, and moving again, and moving again. Getting the funding in place, encouraging us to keep up the faith that that's really going to happen. This building was a dream that was difficult to believe would ever happen. It developed on the back of an envelope, this design, and getting it from envelope to blueprints, Fran Luck, our architect, had a lot to do with that. Fran's in the back there. And she works for Fred Snyder Associates. Is Fred here? Oh, Fred right in front. Okay. Snuck in on me there. We also owe a big debt of gratitude to our general contractor, Lonnie Brewers. Oh, right here. I'm far distance, I can see well, but not up close. So Lonnie is, he's put up with a tremendous amount of grief to get this building to the point that it is now. Totally appreciate it. We also owe a special gratitude to Jen Lettner. Jen, I'll have to wave your hand. Oh, there you are. Jen Lettner created our mosaic out in the front lobby, so be sure to take a look at that. If you just walked over it, be sure to take a look at it again. I also want to thank our Wetlands Advisory Committee, who really kept us focused on what our message was in our educational mission. Gene Myers was our representative from the Board of Trustees. Dr. Darcy Russell and Dr. Scott Kimball were representatives from the Department of Biology and Chemistry. Darcy and Scott are sitting right next to each other, that's convenient. And Dr. Tony Brown in the Department of Psychology and director of our Master of Liberal Arts program, with Tony back there. Greg Kramos, I mentioned already, who's on our committee. Marcy Lucian is a faculty member at Free State High School. And Stan Roth, Stan's right back there, and he's a former biology teacher at Lawrence High School. And John McGrew, who's a promoter in the Lawrence area for a program that's called Outside for Better Inside. So all of those people have been involved in our advisory committee. There's still a lot of things to get done before this is a fully operational facility. So we have a lot of work cut out for us. John, my son, has been an amazing partner through this whole process. There have been many things that he's had to do to keep things moving. He's had the arduous task of working with many different contractors, from the road project to realigning the utilities to the sewage treatment process or project to the building subcontractors. And his patience has been a joy to see through this process. One of the contractors we've been working with, I'd like to acknowledge Tyler Myers. Tyler's sitting right back there. And Tyler's the project manager for Emery Sept & Sons, who is the South Orange Trafficway contractor. And it's been a real pleasure to work with him and his crew to get this project going. Now, through this facility, we want to plant the seeds in our students at Baker, the public school students who visit, the students of all ages, why wetlands are important. Here's the theme. You want to explain to them why protect them, why expand them, why come out and enjoy them, what's really important about wetlands. And that's what we want to convey the message of. I also want to thank you people in the room today for taking time out of your busy schedule to share this opening with us. Thanks for coming. And now it's my pleasure to turn it over to Mr. Jerry Younger, the Deputy Secretary of the Kansas Department of Transportation.
Well, thank you, Roger. And as we talk about the many, many years that not just this piece of it, but the South Orange Trafficway project has gone on, put me in that group of those many, many years. I remember it's been almost 30 years ago that I first met Roger. And I was a relatively brand new engineer at KDOT. And on my desk got dumped this project called the South Orange Trafficway. And little did I know that 30 years later, here we would be, and you can look not too far away from this very building and see getting very close to the end result of the last 30 years. And won't that be great? You know, we kind of look back and yeah, over those past 25, 30 years, there's been a lot of public discourse, there's been a lot of public debate about the merits of the South Orange Trafficway. And I suppose there's still varying opinions about the merits of the South Orange Trafficway. But one thing you can't dispute is because of the South Orange Trafficway and our interaction with Baker and the wetlands here, we've got 58 acres of wetlands and habitat replaced, 317 acres of wetlands created and restored, 73 acres of upland prairie, 27 acres of riparian habitat, $16 million spent as part of the South Orange Trafficway project on wetland mitigation, $4 million spent on noise walls, and you can see the noise walls along the new South Orange Trafficway alignment, $1.6 million spent on this building, on the Education Center, and $9 million put into the endowment that keeps this running. So I would offer that because of the South Orange Trafficway, we now have a resource that's more accessible to all those wanting to enjoy, experience, and be educated by the wetlands resource. And I think that's a great thing. And I'm happy KDOT was part of that. Thank you.
And at this time, I'd like to invite the Baker Speech Choir, directed by Susan Immel, to come forward.
Who doesn't love walking through the splendor of a mossy old-growth forest?
And who doesn't break into song at the sight of an alpine meadow in full bloom?
But what about the wetlands of the world?
Wetlands are among the most productive ecosystems in the world, comparable to rainforests and coral reefs.
We'd love for everyone today to look at a wetland and see more than just a bunch of water, mud, and soggy brown plants.
We want you to see diversity and life.
Hey, why did the student excavate the wetlands?
For Pete's sake!
How do you identify dogwoods in a wetlands area?
By their distinctive bark.
With information from Baker University's website,
the Association of Whistler Area Residents for the Environment,
and a few very bad jokes from the internet.
In celebration of this exciting new wetland discovery center,
The Baker University Speech Choir presents a program on
It's a Wonderful Life. Let's start with some basics. First, what exactly are wetlands?
let's break down this extremely technical term and see what happens.
Wet and lands.
Well, that pretty much sums it up.
Since the Ice Age, water reached the river and flooded, and as it did so, larger particles settled out of floodwaters close to the bank.
And very fine particles settle into the lower locations.
The buildup of extremely fine soil particles, as well as being lower ground.
Is what has made this area a wetland over thousands of years in the past.
In 1883, the Bureau of Indian Affairs began purchasing land to establish the Haskell Institute, a boarding school for American Indians.
Haskell archives indicate that a number of projects were carried out by the federal government in the early 20th century on Haskell's behalf, aimed at draining the area for agricultural use.
Wetlands are areas of land covered with water for long enough periods throughout the year for aquatic processes to occur.
Often called the sponges or kidneys of our planet, wetlands soak up rain and snowmelt, then slowly release the water in drier seasons to keep the streams and rivers flowing.
And groundwater aquifers full.
In 1934, the educational mission at Haskell changed and no longer included agricultural training. The Bureau began leasing the grounds to local farmers.
Then, in the 1950s, a significant portion of the acreage was declared by the Department of the Interior as surplus land.
Parcels of this land were given to the city,
To the county,
to the University of Kansas.
and to the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism.
What remained was an odd-shaped parcel of approximately 573 acres.
I was working in the wetlands last week, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah? Why?
I was flooded with draining errands.
Well, you said you'd been bogged down and swamped with work.
Yeah, I'm basing my exhaustion on needing a break. I think I'll take a vacation if that's okay. By you.
In April 1967, through the encouragement of Dr. E. Raymond Paul of KU,
And Baker Professor Dr. Ivan L. Boyd,
Baker University filed a successful application to receive the parcel of land for the purposes of education, research, and preservation of the remaining virgin wet meadows.
Baker University received the property in August 1968.
Dr. Boyd was able to control weeds and trees and to establish several small single-species stands of big bluestem, switchgrass, and Indian grass.
The seed from these stands were then harvested to replant more and more of the farm ground.
When Dr. Roger Boyd became manager of the area in 1982, he was able to finish planting the remaining cultivated plots to prairie grasses and some hills.
Another amazing function of the wetlands is that they actually help purify the water.
Wetland soils and plants filter out sediment, chemicals, and toxic materials,
The pollutants settle on the bottom of the wetland,
where they are gradually absorbed by wetland plants and converted into non-toxic materials.
Discussion about a road bypassing the west and south of Lawrence began in 1985. Several routes were discussed.
Baker University concluded that a completed South Orange traffic way south of the river would stimulate the construction of 4-lane roads on 3 sides of the wetlands.
It would increase noise, pollution, and roadkill, and would dramatically reduce movement of animals in and out of the wetlands, as well as seriously hindering access to the property.
However, it was determined that with the proper mitigation plan in place,
We would be able to expand the wetlands,
increase our public access and education programs,
and, at the same time, sacrifice a small portion of the existing restored wetlands to allow the 32nd Street alignment to be completed.
Wetlands are rich in population of fish, birds, reptiles, and other wildlife species because of the abundance of food,
It's a natural smorgasbord.
vegetative cover, and water.
Many migratory bird species depend on wetlands for feeding, breeding, and nesting.
Why do birds fly south of the river?
Because it's too far to walk.
What is an owl's favorite subject?
Owl.
What happens when a duck flies upside down?
It quacks up.
What did the duck say after he went shopping?
Put it on my bill.
September 2008, Baker University, under the leadership of Dr. Roger L. Boyd, started the conversion of 140 acres of cropland back to wetlands.
The process began with collecting seeds in the original Baker wetlands and elsewhere around the county. Seeds from 42 species were collected.
Swales were constructed to disrupt the linear pattern created by agriculture over the past century.
To create a pattern similar to one that might typically be found in an active, untouched floodplain, and to create a variety of habitats for plants and wildlife.
The collected seeds were dispersed around the perimeters of the swales, and in mid-April 2009, many germinated soon after.
If this next fact isn't a reason to love that, I don't know what is.
Wetlands play an important role in balancing the global atmosphere.
Microbes, plants, and wildlife populations all parts of the global cycle for water, nitrogen, and soil.
Wetlands store carbon within their soil and plants instead of releasing it into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide.
Thus helping to moderate global climate.
See, wetlands really do rule.
Bids were led in September 2013, and the construction of the South Lawrence Traffic Way was begun. It should be completed in late 2016 or early 2017.
The completed project means Baker University will have forfeited 56 acres from the original 573 acres. Additional results include
A total of 310 acres of floodplain crop field has been restored to wetlands and 75 acres of crop fields restored to native grasslands and wildflowers.
A total of 27 acres of former crop field will be restored to native riparian forest.
In addition, Louisiana Street has been relocated half a mile west, and Haskell Avenue has been relocated a quarter mile east to create a buffer to the wetland.
4 new access points with public parking lots will be constructed. 2 will be hard surface.
Utility lines have been located along existing roads and removed from the interior of the wetlands.
a multiple-use hike and bike trail is being established along the south side of the traffic way.
A noise wall has been constructed on either side of the driveway.
5 other area hike and bike trails are being tied into the South Lawrence Traffic Way hike and bike trail.
A network of trails will be constructed at the facility, including 2 pedestrian bridges over Nason Creek.
A new 1,100-foot-long boardwalk is being constructed.
Finally, money was provided to build this 10,000 square foot Discovery Center in an adjacent storage field.
Money was provided to purchase tools and equipment for repairs, construction projects, and management.
And Baker University has established an endowment with KDOT funds to maintain and staff the facility.
So come back often to this amazing Discovery Center.
Because at Baker, we believe
It's a waterful life.
Want to thank you all for that performance. Very good. And now I'd like to invite the speakers to come forward so we can cut the ribbon.
What a great day. Thank you again for coming. Before we hand this over back to John for the closing remarks, I do want to recognize a few other people who are very special and for their support. So I'd like to recognize current Board of Trustee members to Baker University. Will you please stand? Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you. How about former Board of Trustee members? Do we have any former Board of Trustee members in attendance today? This would be a here today as well. So, Dr. Tanner, Dr. Dan Lammer, please stand. Thank you for joining us. Now it's my pleasure to turn it over to Jon Boyd for some closing remarks.
Hello, my name is Jon Boyd. I'm the director of the Baker Wetlands. I just want to say thank you for coming out today, and thank you to everybody that had a hand in making this special day come about. I do hope that everyone takes some time to walk through the building and explore the building and explore outside. We do have refreshments in the office hallway, and that is located on the other side of the wall, so look for everyone to enjoy those. And thank you all for coming, and hope you enjoy exploring the area. Thank you.